You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. A pair of Mexican-born, Winnipeg-based sopranos bring the heat in a celebration of art song in honor of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Las Dos Catrinas features Paulina González and Santos, transporting the spirit of Mexico to the heart of the continent. Both Paulina and Karen have joined me in the studio. Welcome back to Classic 107.
Good morning.
Well, it's a delight to have you both back to the studio. I want to begin on a serious note, asking about Hurricane Otis, which made landfall yesterday, a record-breaking Category 5 storm that brought widespread devastation to the Acapulco area. Karen, your hometown is in Mexico City, but you've got family that's directly affected, right?
Yeah, so it's my family has a house, and my grandparents used to partially live in Acapulco. So we don't know what the state of the house is at the moment, but also the people that work there and live there, we can't find them. So yeah, my family chat has been going crazy. Everybody trying to call shelters and things like that to see where are our people. And the destruction is pretty bad. It does look pretty devastating.
It's got to be very hard to be here while all that's going on, right?
Yeah, I feel powerless. Like there's nothing I can do. And my parents are going over there on Tuesday, so hopefully they find everything okay.
Yeah, hoping the best for you and the family. Paulina, what about you? I know your hometown is quite north of Acapulco, home province of Sonora. Is everyone, you know, doing all right?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, everything's okay over there in the north. But, I mean, it's still pretty bad news. You know, when something like this happens, you're never okay to hear this kind of news, especially when you know somebody that knows somebody, and there's always somebody, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
the world is a small place, right? Yeah. And so, yes, hoping the best for both of you, given the seriousness of the situation. Let's change gears here a little bit. Something that we've talked about before on the station, but never with the pair of you together. So let me ask the both of you, how did a pair of Mexican sopranos end up here in Winnipeg? Paulina, do you want to speak to this a little bit?
Sure, yeah. Well, first I think music led me here. My voice, I could say. You always think of your future and your dream, but I think coming here and being here with my fiance and just enjoying everything that Winnipeg has to offer, it's what got me here, really. But yeah, I'm here because I was chasing for a master's degree in music, and I was accepted here. I got a scholarship back in 2017, so I've been here for 6 years now. I'm a permanent resident now, and it's been difficult to be away from my family for so long, but it's definitely it's good to be here. Winnipeg it's been really good to me, and I'm very grateful for that.
You were both at the Des Hôtels Faculty of Music at the same time. Karen, what was your reaction when you happened to run into another Mexican soprano studying at the same time? Was it something that you expected?
No. So when I did my undergrad, there was also a Mexican about my age, like in the same vocal range and everything else. So I wasn't surprised. But yes, Paulina and I did our masters together. And so, yeah, we actually know each other pretty well. She's been here for 6 years. I've been here for 5. I also moved here. I moved here from Vancouver to do my masters. And yes, Winnipeg has some of the best sopranos to study with. And it has the best music scene, if I do say so myself.
Well, so let me ask you this about the music scene then. Apart from school, have the two of you performed together before?
No,
maybe not. No.
So this is going to be a first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whose idea was it to, put a recital together? We'll get to Dia de los Muertos in a moment, but whose idea was it to do a show together?
It was a really cute story, and I'm really happy it happened like this, because I feel like we've always wanted to do something together in Spanish, but we were so busy with school that it never happened. And then recently we went to a friend's recital. She's from Korea, and she did a recital of Korean music. And everyone, her whole community was there, and I think we were both very overwhelmed. So we were both in that concert, and so we met at the end of the concert, and we were like, we have to do this.
Yeah, we just
need
looked
to
at
do
each other.
this.
I'm like, can you imagine this, but with Mexican music? Like, this would be epic.
And so here we are, the concert in celebration of Mexican art song at Las Dos Catrinas, in honor of Dia de los Muertos. Who would like to tackle this? Can you tell us about the significance of Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead?
Yeah, so Day of the Dead is celebrated on November 1st and November 2nd. It is an important time for us. It is the time, first of all, it's a blend of Spanish and indigenous culture, because the two dates kind of intersect in what the indigenous people already celebrated, plus what they did in Spain. So basically, it is believed that the veil between the dead and life sort of gets lifted, and you are able to celebrate life with your beloved dead family members. And we gather in cemeteries, and we make offerings, ofrendas. We set up an altar, and we spend the night partying, usually. With Mexicans, it's always a party. We spend the night partying. We spend the night eating food, having amazing music. And how we are honoring Day of the Dead, first of all, we're including a couple of pieces that are very emblematic of the Day of the Dead. They are specifically sung at that time of the year. But also, we are having a Day of the Dead altar. And this is not just any Day of the Dead altar. It is being designed by Ingo Lamertz and Victor Ramirez, who are the designers of the Mexican Pavilion's cultural display for Folklorama. And they are the nicest people.
Yeah.
You should have seen when we went to the church I went to show them the space. You could tell the creativity. They were just looking around, taking pictures, taking measurements, and they were like, already the creative juices were running, and they've sent us samples yesterday of what it was going to look like. I was like, it's amazing. It's going to be 12 feet long.
Oh, boy.
It looks incredible.
So it's going to be very authentic.
Let me ask you then, Paulina, about the musical side of things. How did you go about picking what to perform for this recital? Can we talk first about Mexican art song and that particular genre of music before we get to kind of more the folk stuff and the rancheras and the huapango that you're going to be performing as well?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I had to go back to my undergrad and what I've done. I actually sang a lot of the Mexican art songs that we're doing in this recital. So Karen and I talked, and I said, these are my favorites, and I would love to sing this one. And she's like, oh, I want to do this one. So we just kind of chose what we wanted. I think that Mexican art song is very unique. It's very passionate. It's like the food, you know. You if you go to Mexico, everyone's grandma cooks really good, you know. I feel like that's how the music is. It's very rich. Yes, it's very flavory or savory. You can't go wrong with it, you know. And
is there an extensive literature to peruse? Like when we think of art song, it's a rather formal style, right? I mean, like you go to the art songs, the English art song, the French chanson, the German lieder tradition. Is there an extensive actual Mexican art song genre that you can peruse and kind of dive into?
I've been doing research on this because unlike Paulina, I hadn't sung a lot of these songs. Like I knew about them, but I hadn't sang them. And it's because I didn't feel like they were regarded as classical music because they kind of ride the line a little bit. But what I've been learning, even as we were planning this, is after the Mexican Revolution, which was in 1910, Mexico had a bit of a rebirth in terms of culture and a rebirth in terms of national identity. And several of the composers that we are featuring actually studied classical music in Europe. And so they were they had that Western standard of classical music, and then they started composing Mexican music, trying to, especially Manuel Ponce, he was trying to elevate the Mexican music. Later composers kind of think that that's maybe a little elitist, right? But it's interesting that he's the one that started that movement of that Mexicanist, nationalist music that forms the national identity. And so I feel like it is only now when I'm reading doctoral papers that are recognizing this music as equal to that of European classical art song.
You bring up a very important point, right? Looking at how we tackle this quintessential European form and, in a way, like you say, adapt it and bring it to that sort of level where, it brings its own flavor too, though, right? If we go back to that sort of analogy of someone's grandma cooking, right? It is its own unique blend. And so this is going to be a wonderful showcase of that. If you're just tuning in, I'm chatting with Karen Santos and Paulina González. They present a concert of Mexican art song on November 3rd. Now, this art song, it's not going to be unaccompanied. Joining you in studio this morning is Megan DeFrat, who's been hanging out at the Classic 107 keyboard for the last little while. And we're going to get Megan involved in just a moment. But tell us more about who's going to be joining you, Paulina, for this concert.
Yeah, so it's called Trio Los Laureles. I found them on Instagram a while back, and I was like, I can't believe they're in Winnipeg. Like, how have I not heard of them? So I contacted Jaime, he's the person in the admin of the group, and I told him we were really interested in having you play with us in this concert, and we had one rehearsal, and it was wonderful. It was really nice. I don't know about you, Karen, but I felt like I was back in Mexico with that music, and it's going to be really good, and I think people love them here. So they're really helping us bring more people to our concert.
And they brought this special kind of expertise that we did not have, because we're also doing rancheras and we're doing other music that is not necessarily our expertise, but just rehearsing with them, that was something else, because they know that music really well. And the way that they were kind of collaborating with us was really special.
Yeah.
So the concert takes place a week today, Friday, November 3rd at Westworth United Church. That's 1750 Grosvenor Avenue. You're going to treat us to a little performance here early this morning. What are we going to hear?
You're going to hear Bésame Mucho by Consuelo Velázquez.
So I'm going to let you two set up, accompanied by Megan DeFrat at the piano. This is Karen Santos and Paulina González performing live in the Classic 107 studio.
Bésame
in the Classic 107 studio. We just heard Paulina González, Karen Santos, and Megan DeFrat performing Besame Mucho. Music that you can hear on the program a week today, November 3rd, at Westworth United Church, 7:30 p.m. Tickets $25. Las Dos Catrinas, a concert of Mexican art song. More details up at classic107.com under the events tab. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.